Am I the a-hole for jokingly saying that my youngest daughter's boyfriend would be a better match for my oldest daughter? I, 51 female, have 2 daughters, Lily, 24 female, and Tina, 22 female. I love my 2 daughters equally, but Lily has always been my favorite since we have so much in common. Tina's always been a bit of a tomboy, so she's my husband's darling, but that doesn't bother me and we're a good family. A few months ago, Tina started dating Philip, a friend of hers from college. Philip is a very sweet, polite, and respectful boy. Like I said before, Tina is a bit of a tomboy and I thought she would change now that she has a boyfriend, but she hasn't changed at all, which annoys me a bit. Lily recently broke up with her boyfriend of several years and has been a bit depressed about it. I know it will make me sound bad, but I've noticed that Philip has much more in common with Lily than with Tina, and at times I see them together at home, I think they make a good couple. I clarify that Philip completely adores Tina and that he has never approached Lily with ulterior motives. When I say they have things in common, I mean it. Same musical tastes, same aspirations, and they already know what to do with their lives, while Tina continues to drift regarding her future. I've come to think that a good boy like Philip is missing out on my youngest daughter. At the last family dinner, Tina invited Philip over. Since he's a very polite boy, he brought chocolates for Tina and flowers for Lily, which is not unusual because he always brings gifts for everyone. It seemed very sweet to me since Lily's breakup was very difficult, and her ex never gave her flowers. While Tina put away the chocolates, Philip stayed talking to Lily, and they really looked great together. I jokingly said, "You two look so great together. Maybe you're dating my wrong daughter." I insist that it was a joke, but no one laughed. Behind me, Tina ran into her room and my husband followed her. Lily looked at me like I was a monster, and Philip turned red, swearing that he only brought the flowers as a friendly gesture with no such intentions. In the end, Philip went home and dinner was ruined. My husband was mad at me for saying that, and now Tina was feeling insecure about her relationship. At the same time, Lily complained to me that now her sister hates her more than before for being too close with her boyfriend, just when they were beginning to get along. They never get along because they're very different. I didn't mean to hurt my daughter. It was an innocent joke. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. You're the a-hole. It clearly wasn't a joke. Tina is gonna dance on your grave at this rate. Mom just won a free trip to the retirement home. Tina is a bit of a tomboy and I thought she would change now that she has a boyfriend, but she hasn't changed at all, which annoys me a bit. Well, we clearly have a major problem here. This 100% puts you deep into the a-hole side of things, but let's keep reading to see if we can salvage that. You two look so great together. Maybe you're dating my wrong daughter. I cannot fathom this and not expecting that to blow up in my face. No one laughed. Well, yeah, saying that is just hurtful. You invalidate the choices that they made to be together. You stick that knife back into Lily for no reason but to sate your own desire for your children to just make you happy at their own expense. That is to say nothing of how you just made Philip and Tina feel. Holy cow. You are an impressively self-serving parent. I didn't mean to hurt my daughter, it was just an innocent joke. Okay, that's a flat-out lie. You knew exactly what you were doing here, and that's abundantly clear from your other opinions. You saw a chance to hurt those around you so you could fit everyone into the boxes you want them to fit into. This isn't about love and jokes. You are a flat-out abuser, and you are finally being called on it. Good. You're the a-hole, 100%. I don't think she was actively trying to hurt Tina. That would require caring about her at all. She never thought about Tina's feelings one way or the other. Her favorite is sad, so she's trying to fix it by giving her the wrong daughter's boyfriend. I'm betting a lot of Christmas presents were distributed to make sure they wanted the right girls when they were younger. Still 100% you're the a-hole, even if it was more neglectful than actively malicious. You're the a-hole. This wasn't a joke, and you know it. I honestly don't even know where to begin. Your blatant disrespect towards Tina's relationship. Your manipulative behavior by testing the water with your joke. Or your clear distaste in your own daughter Tina. I gotta ask you, do you want to date Philip? You said yourself you have so much in common with your daughter Lily. So I don't see this as a stretch. Are you so appalled that some tomboy like Tina pulled someone as sweet and caring as Philip? You even asked when everyone was away and it was just Philip and Lily in the room, because you knew it was wrong. Obviously didn't ask when everyone could be there to laugh at your joke, because it's not a joke. Finally, poor Tina had to walk into this and hear this from her own mother. If she only had an inkling you didn't like her before, she definitely knows now. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for making my daughter do all the post-Christmas celebration cleaning because of the gift she gave to my wife? I've been with my wife for 4.5 years. She suffered from breast cancer and we got married after she completed her treatment. This is also our first Christmas together as a married couple. I have a 16-year-old daughter who can tolerate but not accept her stepmom and can be passive-aggressive towards her sometimes. She's done some things in the past that warranted a number of punishments, but my wife has been graceful and forgiving. But in my opinion, she has gotten out of control, especially with lack of consequences. There's been tension around the holiday, and surprisingly, my daughter decided to spend Christmas with us, saying her mom went to visit her future stepdad's family a few towns over. My wife was thrilled with my daughter staying with us. She prepared everything and I helped her in there while my daughter was on her phone the entire time. I welcomed my in-laws and we had a great time throughout the day. Christmas dinner went fine, though my wife seemed a bit upset. She refused to say what's wrong till I pressured her. She then opened a box my daughter got her for Christmas and there was a bra inside it. My wife broke down crying in the kitchen. I was fuming. I called for my daughter and confronted her about the gift, and she tried to explain it wasn't malicious. But I disagreed and said yes, it was, and it was purposefully done to offend her stepmom and mock her illness. I decided to punish her by having her do all the cleaning after the guests left, but she tried to evade it by saying okay, then turning around and calling her stepbrother to come pick her up and take her to her mother's house. I caught her at the door and kicked her stepbrother out and told her to start cleaning up immediately. She went hysteric, yelling about how cruel it was to punish her on Christmas, and how insensitive and unladylike my wife has to be offended by the bra. I refused to engage in her yelling matches and made sure she did all the cleaning, which my wife said was a lot and asked me to let my daughter go to her mom's house, but I insisted not until the punishment was complete. My daughter called her stepbrother again and left later. She immediately called her mom, who came after me on social media and berated me for doing what I did and ruining Christmas for her. I had an argument with her about what our daughter did, but she sided with her and called me abusive and a robot controlled by my wife, even though my wife asked me to let it go. She got my former in-laws involved, and they have been criticizing me about what I did. Not stay home. I was fully prepared to be on the side of your daughter because that's who I tend to sympathize with in situations like this. But what she did was so unbelievably cruel and malicious that I hardly even know what to say. Having to clean up is the absolute least she could expect for what she did. Teenagers can be cruel, but that's just way over the line. Same here. I fully expected this to be some nutty over-the-top punishment. But honestly, I think the daughter got off easy. That was a vicious move by her. And it sounds like the ex-wife has a huge influence on her daughter's behavior. Not stay home. What your daughter did was cruel and hurtful. Good for you for supporting your wife and trying to get your daughter in line. Honestly, she sounds awful, and your wife sounds like an angel. You also seemed balanced, so I don't know what happened with your daughter, but your ex should not be siding with her over that behavior. Stand your ground. One day when your daughter matures, I hope she apologizes to your wife. I don't know what happened with your daughter, but your ex. That's what happened to the daughter. The ex. OP, you need to sit your daughter down and explain to her clearly, probably 3 times in different words each time, that there aren't sides. There's decent behavior and horrible behavior, and that a person's character is determined by their behavior, not what's inside. Your daughter is turning into a cruel boy, and that is what's unacceptable to you. Not that she has trouble accepting that you've moved on from her mother. Not stay home. You made her do a chore. She tried to undermine your authority by just leaving instead. You stood strong as you should have. That was a cruel gift to give. The thing is, she doesn't live with us, so she doesn't normally do any chores except taking care of her own room and laundry when she comes over to stay. Her mom tried to threaten CPS in the past for simply giving my daughter a schedule to help with the cleanup. I can see why your ex-wife is your ex, and the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I'm so sorry. Neither of you deserve that. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling off the wedding over a joke and refused to return the gifts? I, female 23, was engaged to my fiancé, male 27, for 8 months. During the pre-wedding ceremony, he was kinda snappy, rude, and brute. When I asked him is everything alright, he told me to shut up and focus on myself. I was appalled and asked him to mind his words and tone, and he just huffed and left. I was embarrassed and told my family and friends how I was unsure about the wedding. Later, his mother came and told me he was just stressed and didn't mean to insult me, and that patience is a virtue and some BS. I was tired and not in the headspace to make any decision. Then the next day during the wedding, when they said the bride is coming, he pretended to run away and hide. Few people laughed and he told me I looked so shiny like glitter. It sounded like an insult, so I asked him whether he's sure that he wants to marry. He said, isn't it too late to even think that? That was it. I got up and said I refused to marry him and that he's a jerk. The wedding stopped, his mom fainted, and his dad was like, you have to pay for the expenses. The wedding was a small ceremony, so not expensive, but they gave me some jewelry. In our country, the gifts from groom to bride or bride to groom given during engagement belongs to who it is given. Like if I gave him gifts during engagement, he doesn't have to return it and vice versa. They want me to give it back as I stopped the wedding. I told them the reason I stopped the wedding is because of their son, and that I don't have to give them anything. He went on a rant and yelled at me and called me a greedy witch, and that I can't take a joke. Broke his heart, insulted his family and said that he'll go to court. He can't do anything in court, but my parents are saying we should give everything back as I'm the one who overreacted. I was furious as they cannot see the disrespect, and yelled at them and left. Am I the a-hole for not returning the gifts and stopping the wedding? Edit. 1. I knew him for more than 10 years. I work in a different state during lockdown last year when I visited my parents. He told his parents he wanted to marry me and our parents arranged the marriage. And after engagement, we went on a few dates and I don't know him as a person that well. 2. We spent, for example, $5,000 for engagement. It was a huge ceremony. And because of COVID, his parents spent around $3,000 for the wedding, which I'm willing to pay back. And he gave me gifts worth $4,000. So together they have spent like $7,000 while we $5,000. We have to return the wedding cost, which is $3,000. And if I return the gift too, then the entire cost falls on us while the jerk walks free. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole for stopping the wedding. If you see red flags, best to stop now than to go through a divorce down the line. You deserve to marry someone who respects you. In regards to returning the gifts, depending on where you live, legally you may have to give the gifts back. You may want to look into the applicable law. The law is in my favor, so I don't have to return the engagement gifts. Keep the gifts. It's his price for learning he can't talk/treat women that way. Keep it out of spite. Do not return it. Let them waste money going to court for it. Who cares? They raised a crappy person. Keep it. Not the a-hole. Him running away as a joke is not the worst, but his language is verbally abusive, and it's appalling that everyone around you supports it. Don't get married to him ever. However, I see no reason to keep a wedding gift from his parents. If they want the jewelry back, just give it to them. Move on with your life and be free of it. His parents arranged the wedding and I'm willing to pay them back, but he gave the jewelry. Even if they continuously ask for the jewelry back, you ask for the payment of engagements back. Simple math. Tell them directly to see them in court if they do not relent. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for calling out my mom about her gift-giving methods when I was a kid? We had our usual immediate family gathering for the gift opening, and the kids enjoyed it. My mom was recounting how she would always give me what I wanted, but she only stopped after I was grown and she changed religions. I did a double take and said, you showed me what you'd gotten me, but I never actually got it. She argued that she gave me what I wanted and had pictures to prove. Now, my mom had a habit of buying me what I wanted for Christmas, allowing me to take the wrapping off, take pictures of me with the gifts, but take the actual present for me and putting it away saying, I got you this, but you're on punishment, so you can't have it now. Then I would never see it again. I'd ask for it months later and she again would say I'm on punishment for whatever and couldn't have it. She would keep these items and present them to me as an adult when she was cleaning out closets. It was a mean method, and still upsets me when she gives me the items. I told her this and she denied it, but my family was appalled. My mom then tried to backtrack and say she took them because I always broke it. I say, how can I break it if I never got them? And you're giving me the pristine items as an adult. She didn't have an answer, so I let it go and we carried on. Later, she approached me and said I embarrassed her in front of the family and said it was unfair. I apologized, But I didn't think it was fair to act like she'd always given me what I wanted when she didn't. She's still quite upset with me. Am I the a-hole for calling her out? Why on earth did you apologize for telling the truth? Not the a-hole. I'd retract the apology. I apologized because I wasn't trying to embarrass her. Honestly, I apologize for everything if I end up making someone uncomfortable. So your mom would buy you a gift, take pictures of you unwrapping it, then took it away for some BS reason. Probably to return it and get her money back? Yeah, that's going to catch up with you one day. Not the a-hole. She didn't get the money back. She has given me items as an adult that I'd wanted when I was like 7 after she cleaned out her closets. Like, oh, here's that easy bake oven you wanted. I kept it all these years for you. Then I'm like, Ma, I'm 28. What am I going to do with an easy bake now? Not the a-hole. If it had truly been a punishment, she wouldn't have been embarrassed. It also shows she knew it was wrong, but did it anyway. So, screw her. Let her be embarrassed. Edit. I see a few asking why I'm still in contact with her. Honestly, because I'm a softie, and she's my mom. There was a couple of years I did go no contact, and it was hard, but I used that time to find my footing emotionally. During that time, I met my hubby and his family and friends. That experience opened my eyes to how a healthy family functions. It was magical, for lack of a better term. They all accepted me with love and open arms. Once I had a real foundation to build on, we started our family. I'm low contact with my mom now, but I don't want to deny her grandkids. We've discussed a lot of things done over my childhood and have gotten similar responses from her. It hurt and sucked, but I feel I got what I needed off my chest. And instead of holding a grudge for something I can't change, just move forward within my own set boundaries. We have hiccups, but all in all, I'm okay. Not great, but okay. Thank you everyone for your kind words and advice. I really appreciate it. For those concerned about my kids, I have set boundaries with her about my kids. If there's an inkling of any treatment she gave me, she's cut. She knows this, but has not tested it. I also don't leave her alone with them. I don't play about my babies.
Am I the a-hole for dumping my boyfriend after I got a surprise from his ex? So we've been together just over 13 months. I, female 27 and Luke, male 29, were planning on moving in together in about 4 months when his lease is up. We have been to loads of events together. Weddings, engagement parties, birthdays, even his grandparents' wedding anniversary party. We were due to attend his friend's wedding in a neighboring country when a few weeks before, he told me he didn't want me to go. It was just as I was booking my flights. I asked why and he said I would be bored. I know his friend group well, so it's not like I wouldn't know anyone. Anyway, despite many heated discussions, he was adamant. This left a bad taste in my mouth and I felt something was off. So 7 of my friends and I decided to go for a break at a beach while he was gone and then extended it to a full week. My friend Jem's parents had a house at the beach less than 2 hours drive away and the weather was supposed to be good, so we were excited. We were leaving on Wednesday and due back the following Wednesday morning early and going straight into work. I didn't even bother telling my boyfriend. Honestly, it felt like he wouldn't care, and I was on the brink of breaking up with him, but decided to enjoy the beach break first. I get a call from Anna, female 26, out of the blue. Anna was the girlfriend of my boyfriend's best friend Sam, 29. We had been due to travel with them. She overheard Luke talking to Sam. Sam was asking if he really wasn't going to bring me to the wedding. Luke said yes, because his ex Lucy, late 20s I think, had finally RSVP'd she was going and had really delayed. She texted Luke and told him she couldn't wait to see him again and had a surprise for him. They had broken up 3 years ago and she lived abroad, and they kept in touch a little as far as I knew. Luke was convinced the surprise was a hookup, as this has been some kind of a running joke with them when they dated. Anyway, he didn't want me there messing up his chance of having sex with Lucy. He said it was a once-off, but he had to do it. Well, that was enough for me. I knew I would be dumping him, but didn't want a week of him texting or harassing me to forgive him while I was at the beach. So I held off until we got back. On a Tuesday, Luke texted and said he was sleeping over at mine until Thursday, as he would be leaving early Friday morning and would be gone until Sunday. He didn't ask, just told me. I replied that he couldn't, as I was leaving very early on Wednesday morning for a week's vacation and would see him next week. Told him not to worry about keeping in touch because I was planning to be phone-free on my vacation as much as possible. He asked why I didn't told him I was going on vacation, and I just said I thought I had. He wanted to know who I was going with, and 100 other questions. I told him we would talk when I got back, that I was busy packing and to enjoy the wedding and I hope it was full of surprises for him. He didn't reply. We had a fantastic vacation. The rain held off and we stayed on the beach all day and hit nightclubs and local bars and restaurants at night. I didn't post on social media, but was certainly tagged in a lot of pics. He texted me a few times Thursday and Friday, but just general flight leaving now and I got here okay stuff. But on Saturday, the day of the wedding, he really texted and called a lot. The texts were all how he missed me and made a mistake not bringing me. I didn't reply and didn't answer any calls. Same on Sunday. Then he got home on Sunday night and wanted to join us at the beach. I told him no, he would just be bored. So Sunday day night, Anna rang me and couldn't stop laughing. His ex Lucy turned up to the restaurant Friday to the group dinner, and her surprise was that she was 7 months pregnant with her new husband's baby, and her shiny new husband was with her. Lucy played a cruel but hilarious prank on him. But it also ended our relationship, but I was grateful to Lucy for showing me who he really was. Luke arrived to mine Wednesday after I got back and was love-bombing me, telling me how much he missed me and apologizing again. At that point, I told him I knew why he didn't bring me and that his surprise wasn't sex but a pregnant ex and her husband. So I told him it was over. He planned to cheat even if he didn't get the chance to. I was laughing at how Lucy pranked him, but honestly, I was still hurting on the inside. He tried to get me to change my mind because he hadn't actually cheated, but I wouldn't. Am I the a-hole for dumping him even though he didn't actually cheat? Now for the top comments. Anna is a real friend for looking out for you. Anna is a hero. And honestly, so is Lucy. Lady Karma outdid herself with this one. Not the a-hole and have Anna give Lucy her thanks. Right? I love this so much for him. Not only did he not get to sleep with his ex, which was so important to him, apparently he was willing to sacrifice his relationship. He's also single now. What a freaking loser. Onwards and upwards, OP. Not the a-hole. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. Hope you had a fantastic vacation. I love that saying, because I should have listened to that statement ages ago once or twice. You'll meet someone better, OP. Next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my girlfriend out while she recovers from surgery? I, male 27, have been with my girlfriend, female 25, for 3.5-ish years. We have a great relationship, except for when it comes to money. She's terrible with money and is very impulsive when it comes to spending. A year ago, I sat down with her and discussed our finances, and hers was crap to say the least. I told her I'd help her get out of the hole she was in if she was willing to sacrifice and do the work. We made plans and agreed. If she could reduce her spending by a certain amount for 3 months in a row, she could move in with me at my townhouse and get out of her $4,500 a month lease to save up and pay off her credit card debts. She did it and moved in with me. We agreed that in the $4,500, she'd put $2,000 towards debt and $2,500 would go to a savings account. She's done that for the last 9 months and is almost done paying off her debts. She should now have about $20,000 in her savings. 3 weeks ago, she left with her cousin to visit family. When she came back, she had gotten a Brazilian butt lift done. She had spent nearly all of her savings. I was furious over it and told her to pack up her crap and leave my place. She's since gone and has been blowing up my phone, saying she should have discussed it with me first and that I love it when it's fully healed and all kinds of stuffs. She knows I wouldn't support her doing it, let alone spend that money on it. She's had to take time off work to recover and had to go straight back to using her credit card. She says if I don't forgive her and take her back, she'll be forced to where she was financially a year ago. I told her that's none of my business. Am I overreacting and being an a-hole? She had 3.5 years to learn 1. You value fiscal responsibility over beauty. 2. Not getting married because her impulsivity. Making a unilateral decision to spend her entire savings is fully her right, but can't be shocked that a 100% predictable result happened. Clearly she'll never learn. Not the a-hole. This. Thank you. Not the a-hole, and by the way, this was planned. It was not spur of the moment. She just was pulling the old, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. She spent $20,000 on a butt job, and is saying you kicking her out is why she'll be back to her old spending habits? Yeah, okay. I know, right? The fat that they sucked out of her head and put in her butt is making her confused. If she is right back where she was a year ago, it is nobody's fault but her own. But when it heals, you love it. I really can't stop laughing. Something is seriously wrong with her. I'm finding it hard to believe that someone this stupid can afford a $4,500 apartment. It was pretty much her entire savings, to be fair. You get to decide if you want to take the risk of living like this between now and when you die. When you get married or committed long-term and set financial goals, can you trust her? Do you want to find out? She made bad financial choices before she moved in and is still making them. She is not financially compatible with you. And now she has a fake butt that will likely get some version of hard, uneven, lumpy, possible necrotic, and still fake. Next story. Am I the a-hole for blocking and silently moving on from my cheating fiancé? I, 31 female, dated my ex-fiancé Jose, 33 male, for 5 years, and we had been engaged for about 6 real months. We had a really good relationship. I thought he and I were going to end up being together for the rest of our lives and build a family. To make a long story short, I found out he had been cheating on me with a coworker for about 9 months. Yes, before the engagement. At first, I was beyond mad, and my first impulse was to find ways to literally ruin his and her life. But honestly, after about 16 hours of thinking and crying about it, he was on a work trip. I figured anything I did would be a waste of time. And since my goal was to start a family, I felt like I didn't really have any more time to waste on someone who obviously isn't going to be in my life for the long term or short term. So I just let go. I packed all my things, asked my dad to help me move them back into the family home so I could get situated, and literally just started moving forward with my life. I just let him have anything that was ours. Something about those items seemed foreign to me now, and I really didn't want to associate with it. I left the ring at a house. By about halfway through the second day while I was moving my stuff, he started to really push the envelope on getting me on the phone, but I just continued to dodge. I had to undo some things. There were no joint bank accounts, but some other accounts/things that we shared that I had to untangle. But our lives were pretty separate. By the third day, still without saying anything to him, I blocked him and asked my parents not to discuss anything with him. They of course knew what had happened. I told them they were more than welcome to maintain a relationship with him if they chose. My dad loved him, but I asked them not to discuss or talk about me at all. After a week-long business trip, he showed up at the house, but I told my dad I had nothing to say to him and to please get him to go away. Now, it's been about 2 weeks and he hasn't been back since, so I've still not talked to him, still blocked. I feel like I've never really made an effort to move on with my life. I'm touring nearby apartments and hope to have my own lease signed by the end of the month. I really just felt like there wasn't anything to talk about. And I didn't feel like I owed someone who would do something like that to me anything, even a conversation. This morning, while discussing my plans, etc., my parents basically sat me down and asked me to talk over everything with him. They figure I will regret it in the future, that mistakes happen, that without his confessions, I can't be 100% sure that he cheated, etc., etc. I told him that I didn't really want to waste any more time on the situation and that, while I was being selfish, I didn't think hearing his side would help me in healing in any way. My mom and I got into a pretty heated argument. Eventually, she told me she raised a more compassionate and caring daughter than that. Why do I owe a cheater anything? Am I the a-hole? Edit. Saw some people asking. Sorry, forgot to mention how I found out. I'm 100% sure he is/was cheating. I was working on a downstairs computer when an email came through in Outlook. From what I knew, we had Gmail accounts. I clicked the tab and saw tons of recent emails of orders for a bunch of products. Things like Lubrasil, KY, etc. I knew we weren't using anything like that, so instantly got suspicious. I started to look around the email a bit and didn't really find much. However, I wasn't reading anything sent from his company's work address, but eventually clicked into several emails. And yeah, the emails were pretty sexual, and had times of them meeting up, going out, being intimate, etc. for the last 9 months. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole and I'm a suspicious woman, so I'm fairly certain at least one of your parents is in contact with him and is spinning them some BS story. Put your parents on an information diet. Tell them clearly that they are not to disclose your new location. You showed maturity and grace. You stood up for yourself. There is absolutely nothing to regret. And why on earth would anyone want to be compassionate to a cheater and liar? No regrets. Hold your head up high and move on. My bet is the mom. She is mad at Opie and stated she thought she raised a more compassionate daughter and wants her to hear his side. Why would she care what his side was? If I had a daughter and someone hurt her, no matter how much I liked that person, I stand by her because that person hurt my daughter. Opie was compassionate and caring. That's why she didn't cheat. Get the mother to read through all the emails detailing their sexy time, out loud, with Opie's father sitting there. After every illicit reference, Opie can ask, and how would you feel if Dad sent this email to another woman? Dad, how would you feel if this situation was reversed? If Opie's mother is still insisting Opie be more compassionate and hear him out, it's time to start asking if she's cheating, seeing as she's trying to excuse it. Not the a-hole. Full stop. You handled a gut-wrenching situation with maturity. Packing up and moving on without causing a scene is a ballsy move. The audacity to suggest you might regret not hearing his confessions is some grade A nonsense. Cheating is a deal breaker for many, and it's clear as day it is for you too. You don't owe him a conversation or closure. Him cheating was his choice, and moving on silently is yours. Props for keeping it classy and respecting yourself enough to walk away without looking back. Don't let anyone guilt you into thinking you need to hear him out. Stay strong and keep moving forward. It's possibly the ultimate revenge. Not allowing the cheater any way to justify or explain their actions and giving them no chance for closure is the ultimate in head games. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend she can leave after she berated me in front of her friends? Recently had a cookout with my girlfriend 26 and her friends came. First off, I'll admit that I'm batting out of my league. My girlfriend is gorgeous, and I'm an average guy. Well, I don't know her friends, they seemed stuck up. Throughout the event, I tended to notice that she did not compliment me one time, and instead took constant jabs at me and berated me. She commented on my receding hairline. Said I had a crappy tattoo. She's right, my friend gave me it. Said I'm a lightweight and will be in bed by 8 and can't hang. Said my truck is a piece of crap. Said I don't have any access because I'm awkward. I mean, there's some truth to some of this, sure, but it's messed up. Because when I'm with my friends, I'll be giving her the biggest compliments. The only thing she said that was relatively nice was that I made her feel safe. I guess this is a compliment? Anyways, afterwards, I asked her why she took so many shots at me, and she said she was just joking and I was being a child. I told her she can leave if she feels like I don't bring anything to the table, and we argued some more and dropped it. We're still kind of walking on eggshells though. Not the a-hole. Congratulations on getting your first ex. Jokes aside, you deserve better. What she did was really not okay, and a big waving red flag. Not the a-hole. Let her find someone who suits her, and you will meet someone who will appreciate you. Not the a-hole. I mean, if she's going to be a mean girl around her friends like this, are you sure it's not her who is out of your league? I would rather be alone than date someone who tried to tear down parts about me like that. You don't want someone who's going to tear your self-esteem. You want a partner who's going to build yourselves up with you. You're playing in a different league. You are thinking of looks, she's thinking safety and stability. Ask yourself, if she wasn't hot, would you be interested in her? If something happens tomorrow and she lost her looks by weight gain, wrinkles, botched surgery, etc., would her charming personality be worth keeping? She may have exes because they finally ask themselves this very question. Attention of a hot girl can be blinding if he hasn't had previous luck with girlfriends. I went from fat to fit in college, and went from no girls to objectively good looking. And it was an eye-opening experience then, and something that I still reflect on. Not only behavior I witnessed from others, but my own behavior. She's trying to be cool in front of her friends. It's juvenile and high school mean girl behavior, and she's the child, not you. Then she dismissed her feelings. She needs to grow the heck up. She might be gorgeous on the outside, but she's ugly on the inside. Are you sure you want to be around her? I don't think she's going to stop this behavior. She is embarrassed to be dating Opie, it looks like, and is trying to pay it off to her friends as if she doesn't consider the relationship serious.